Get ready to hear 80,000 Voices. That's the group founded by our next speaker, Gina Langton. Her organization is channeling the universal language of music, dance, lighting, and technology to help get rid of nuclear weapons before they get rid of us. In 2015, 80,000 Voices partnered with the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons, joining the effort that led the campaign to a Nobel Peace Prize in 2017. Global Peace Education Day introduces 80,000 Voices founder Gina Langton.
Amazing. Hello, my name is Gina Langton and I'm founder and CEO of 80,000 Voices, which is a partner of the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons, known as ICAN. ICAN was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2017 for its work in implementing the United Nations Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, which we know as the TPNW. I'd like to thank the conference's chair, Gabriela Ramos, and the organisers for inviting me to speak to you all today, and feel grateful and privileged to be able to share a little part of what I do in the way of peace education through the lens of arts and culture. Now, 80,000 Voices advocates peace and brings awareness of the critical issues of our time through the arts. We work with emerging and established artists who have the power to connect with huge audiences through their social media platforms, their festivals and concerts and exhibitions, because they're great channels of communication and artists have the ability to reach millions of people. Now, this is what we need in order to build an enthusiasm coming from the power of art and music to help build the unity necessary to convince the world that nuclear weapons must go before they get rid of us. In 2013, when it all started, I began approaching some well-known musicians and artists and top producers as I had a vision of people coming together in large numbers in stadiums. I felt that audience participation had a big part to play in the 80,000 Voices experience. And I took inspiration from the Latvian, Estonian and Lithuanian song and dance festivals that have been going since the 1870s, because I felt that they understood that mass participation on a grand scale could give us a feeling of connection and wholeness and a sense of purpose. And I set about planning with my team to put on massive events as part of a 10-year plan. And after many, many years of hard work, in February of 2020, I find myself in Hiroshima as the news comes in that the Japanese government are going into serious lockdown. And I watch all my plans for a big choral event in Hiroshima fall apart with no choice but to return to London. Now, let's get present. With the Ukraine-Russian war, the fear and realisation that we could be on the brink of experiencing a nuclear war has now come out of the shadows and raised its ugly head. But this problem has been here all along, hiding in plain sight, threatening annihilation for the last 77 years since the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And 80,000 Voices seeks to persuade the global public that the path to universal health and well-being can only be opened through cooperation and disarmament education. And the first step is to raise awareness of the UN TPNW, because already 122 countries signed the treaty and 66 countries have deposited their instruments of ratification, which means that the production, threat and use of nuclear weapons is now illegal according to international law. And that was entered into force in January of 2021. But let's get back to what we're talking about now. Currently, we're looking to relaunch a big new programme of mass participation events. Meanwhile, 80,000 Voices is in the process of producing an art exhibition of lenticular holograms as part of a global imperative to record the lives of those who survived the atomic bombings in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And these holographic portraits will be of national and global significance and ensure that the Hibakusha are documented and memorialised as a global archive that can be exhibited around the world for future generations. Because the history of what happened in Japan and the anti-nuclear message of the Hibakusha as their dying wish needs to be communicated in a dignified manner And I think it can be done well through culture and art, because art connects the heart. It has the power, I believe, to bypass what seeks to control and manipulate us and confuse us. And the heart is where humanism resides, where we know how to empathise, we find common truths, honesty, fairness, joy, resilience, resolve and strength. And I believe that these are the qualities needed to underpin meaningful movements of positive social and cultural change. People may differ in the languages that they speak, the colour of their skin, their customary behaviours and cultures which surround them. But music and the visual arts have the power to cut through all that and communicate instantly with everyone's innermost feelings, no matter who they are or where they come from. And I believe they are the glue that helps to bind a myriad of movements for peace, culture and education when it is most needed. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is now. Thank you very much for listening.